Ravi K speaks about Ranil. Damika on reversal course. SLFP back to Bandaranaike again. Namal offers amnesty to deserters. Senarath in place of Ekanayake. Ranil plans next 5 years.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Ravi K speaks about Ranil. Damika on reversal course. A direct answer to the much-talked-about first election for 2024 came at the UNP's Management Committee meeting. There it was announced the presidential polls would be held first. President Ranil has been saying the election would happen in September, as the opposition kept insisting it would be a general election first. Ranil is certain to contest. Among many top UNP figures confirming it, Ravi K said he would contest as a non-party candidate.
තව මාස 10ක් තිබෙන ඡන්දයකට එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයක් කියලා නැතුව අපි පොදු සහ නිර්පාක්ෂික අපේක්ෂක ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න තමයි හැම දෙනාගේම එකතුව. ඉතින් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සතුටින් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි. මං හිතන විදිහට රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඒ නිර්පාක්ෂික අපේක්ෂකෙක් වශයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා.
Not only Ranil, but also Sajith, AKD and Dilith have all now begun their election campaigns. The biggest one of all was by billionaire businessman Damika Pereira as the SLPP's candidate. But the talk within the party now is that Damika is reversing. We have been saying that internal conflicts are brewing since Basil held a party convention on 15th December before leaving for the US and gave a front seat for Damika to signal him as their candidate. The latest is that the Rajapaksa family members are against Damika, with Shiranthi taking the lead. Media reports claimed that Damika was given the candidacy on 10 conditions. But that was planted by Damika himself. Those so-called conditions are the ones he is carrying out now, the IT training and employment project. When Minister Prasanna made inquiries about who set those conditions, Namal remained dead silent. If his candidacy goes ahead, the SLPP will be left with only about 15 MPs in his pay. Madhura Withanaji says even that is uncertain. Namal as well as Basil know now that their plan has gone awry. Since Basil asked him to declare that Damika is not their candidate, General Secretary Sagara has gone into hiding. It seems Damika himself has taken a decision to withdraw. However, Gamini Gunaratne alias Bata has advised him to wait until Basil returns within days. It is not just the opposition within that is forcing him to reverse his decision, but also the talk about a black book to be sent out by some in the government soon to reveal his character. The leader broke the news about the existence of such a book. Others are planning to take his companies to court. Damika is now under pressure from his own family to get out of politics. Sir, your politics will create trouble for our businesses too. Bosses at his companies are complaining. He launched his DP Education's Silicon Valley IT office at Tissa Maharama on 10th January. Leaving alone the Rajapaksas, not a single politician was invited for the event at the Rajapaksa Bastion. People hate this politics. I felt very sorry by what parents told me at Tissa Maharama ceremony. They curse politicians, Damika told his cronies as he was returning. Friends close to him say that he seems to be reversing now. No one can oppose his right to do politics. But he should decide if it is worth losing everything he has earned because of politics. SLFP back to Bandaranaike again. The 125th birth anniversary of the SLFP founder, SWRD Bandaranaike, took place at his statue at Gala Face on the 08th. Ex-President Chandrika led the tributes, with PM Dinesh, SLFP Chief Maithri and other party seniors and family members also present. Chandrika and Maithri had a chat, but it is said that no politics was discussed. In previous years, they had made their tributes to the Bandaranaike statue separately. Those at the Dali Road headquarters say the two are now forming some friendship. Chandrika seems to have given a green light to work with the party again. Before attending the remembrance event, Maithri was at the Colombo District Court. He and Acting General Secretary Sarathi Dushmantha filed a petition against Dayasiri. The court issued an injunction against Dayasiri that prevents him from disrupting the duties or making remarks against the acting General Secretary. That order made Maitri very happy, and once at their headquarters, he hugged Sarathi and gave vent to his feelings. At the party's executive committee meeting, he said, "Dayasiri lost from the case for the third time, so the acting General Secretary can do his job freely." Sarathi's appointment got approved by the executive committee too. It also adopted a proposal to form a common alliance for the next election. Maitri made a very emotional speech about how Dayasiri was appointed the General Secretary, despite objections by party seniors. He explained how Dayasiri did on the sly. Tilanga was given the upper floor at the Alliance office. The key is still with him. How can he do that without informing the party chairman? He also spoke sadly about Shanwajalal's exit. "I gave him everything. During my overseas trips, he was made the acting chairman. I gave him everything from the party." He recalled an incident that happened when Shan was given chief ministership for the third time. Party MPs from Hambantota and Matara told Mahinda not to appoint him, Maitri said, adding that he was the General Secretary at the time. He said he was asked by Mahinda, and with his consent, Shan was reappointed. At the Central Committee meeting, it was decided to take disciplinary action against Shan and Desritha. Maitri told Tilanga and Amarawira to finalise a quick decision on the General Secretary position of the Alliance. "We brought to you what transpired there between Tilanga and Namal Siripala about that alliance. In the meantime, Maitri's cronies are doubting the honesty of a close relative of former Governor Pishala Jayaratne, now Secretary of Nawa Lanka Nidahas Pakshaya. According to them, he has become close to Maitri with the aim of spying for Pishala about everything that happens in the SLFP. They say that this person is introducing new people to Maitri and get them appointed to positions in the SLFP. Further, some in the SLFP are planning to form a new alliance against both Ranil and Sajith. They have already spoken to some leftist parties. Maitri told the executive committee thus, "I have been rallying like-minded parties and persons for the past 2 months. That was accelerated in the last 2 weeks. 2 more groups asked for an appointment. Party leaders are interested." It is reported that SLFP's Chief of Staff, Miuru Pashitha Lianage, is laying the necessary groundwork. Maitri also met Chandrika for 2 rounds of crucial talks. She is expected to be made leader of the party within weeks, said sources at the SLFP headquarters. Let's wait and see if the SLFP will have a future at least then. Namal offers amnesty to deserters. State ministers and MPs from the SLPP had their weekly meeting this time on Wednesday at Namal's official quarters at Malala Sakara Mawatha. The focus of their discussion was the deserters of the party. One MP said some of them are now asking if they could return. Another agreed, "Yes, we must see for them. Some of the now independent MPs are willing to work with us again." Namal said, "Yes. Not only that, we must think about party leaders too. In my voice cut that day, I said both GL and Dulles are national leaders who are a must for our party. They are seniors who did a lot for the party. It will be a big strength if they are with us now." As many others spoke in favour of talking to them, Namal declared his intention to speak to them separately next week and invite them back. A SLPP senior reminded, "All of them entered Parliament because of Mr. Mahinda. We saw how they used his picture during campaigning. If there is an official invitation, we can get them back." They decided not to attack any of the breakaway independents. Almost all of these deserters are against Basil and are worried by Namal's conduct. It remains to be seen how successful Namal will be in his mission. Senarath in place of Ekanayake. Ranil plans next 5 years. Now it's time for Janapathy e-column, written by Asoka Jayatunga from Washington, D.C. The headlines go as follows. PM and UMP chair positions on auction. Several parties shaken as fox wags its tail. Ranil's two-edged proposals. They are not just friends, Mali, they are relations too. Bringing drug traffickers to Galaface. Organic Padania's theory of killing patients. Kudos for Darshana Sirisena's GMOA. He begins by saying, Ranil has spoiled things. Some were happy that he will not contest. Certain foreign elements wanted to see the presidential polls to be a game among the weak and hand over the country to the strongest among them. However, the cunning fox played the thug at the recent UMP Management Committee meeting. Presidential election will take place in September. General election is in January 2025 and provincial council election in March. What he said went viral. But some will only be happy if the presidential election suffers the same fate that befell the provincial council and local government polls. There will be no presidential election. That's what was being uttered by the cunning fox's side and a Rajapaksa henchman. But Ranil is ready to contest in September as the non-party candidate. That is why some said he had political motives when he visited the north for development purposes. Upon his return from the north, Ranil proposed to the cabinet on Monday to double the DAT for doctors, a 25% allowance for university dons, and half of the Rs 10,000 allowance for public sector workers to be paid from January. Expected to be welcomed by the public, those were taken to task by health sector trade unions. They too demanded and took hapless patients hostage with threats of strike in a grim reminder of the organic Padania. He goes on to say that at the government parliamentary meeting, Ranil played the role of Santa. Divisional secretariats will be given Rs 12 million each. The World Bank and the ADB are supporting. Go to the villages and work. An election is coming up. Mahindananda remarked, Yukthia is excellent. A Rs 1,000 ice packet cannot be found for Rs 10,000 now. Destroy seized drugs in public. Minister Tiran disagreed. That cannot be done for evidence material. Mahindananda said again, bring the drugs and drug dealers to Gale Face and show them to the country. No, remember what happened when Gale Face was allowed into once, the cunning fox said. At the first day of Parliament sittings for the new year, some SJB MPs came clad in black. Chaminda Wijasiri resigned. Ashu Marasinghe reported everything to the president. There was speculation that Chaminda's resignation came after the cunning fox wagged its tail and that better things are yet to come. Mahindananda opened his mouth. Chaminda resigned for a money deal. His replacement is a relative of Jalani. Nayana Wasalatilake is a relative of not only Sajith's wife, but also from the side of the Rajapaksas as well. This gives a new meaning to what Ranjan Ramanayake said, as, they are not just friends, Mali, they are relations too. Some powerful party figures and others totaling 27 met emissaries of the cunning fox at a luxury complex in Colombo after he wagged its tail again. It is said the main opposition group will be given the UNP leadership and the premiership to lure them into his alliance. That group's big boss attacked the idea, but a majority of others are in total agreement. If that does not materialise, more than 20 are likely to desert the party. Another is that Gamini Sanarath is to be appointed in place of Samane Kanayake before launching the election campaign. Ravi K and Harin have been given the task of finalising a name and a symbol for the new alliance. At a gem exhibition in Beruwala, Ranil had a talk with Rajitha. He then handed him over to Wajira. Minister Chamara said, AKD too came. It is said that nothing can be taken back after given to JR. Remember, Ranil is his nephew. Ranil was with a purpose when he said that he has made plans for the next 5 years. That ends Janapati column. Making plans and working according to plans are both good. But remember that there are 22 million people to think about. That's it for today.